Alright, here is a look back on my Equestrian 2020 in 7 minutes. So in January of 2020, I was leasing a horse named Silas at an eventing facility. I was riding as an eventer, I was jumping and things like that, but there was something that was most certainly missing, which is what kind of prompted me to start and look for more, and perhaps consider ending my lease with him. In February of 2020, I continued jumping and learning more about the whole world of eventing on Silas. We definitely progressed well together, but we were completely and totally lacking an emotional connection. And that was what I realized I truly sought out with horses. It wasn't just jumping higher and doing things like that. Because of this, when my lease was scheduled to end at the end of the month of February, I went on and tried other horses. Owning a horse of my own was becoming more and more of a real possibility. And then, in March of 2020, I brought home Galileo at the end of the year. I had initially planned to do eventing shows at this time, but because of Corona, they all got shut down for good reason. So I brought home Galileo near March 30th and put his first rides on him throughout April and taught him how to lunge and do basic things along those lines. April of 2020, we moved barns after learning that the facility that we were previously at was not a good fit, to say the least. In this time, Galileo and I truly became more than just a horse and a rider, and we became friends. We really began to create a solid and strong relationship in this time, which is why I'm very, very grateful for it. In May of 2020, this is when our riding actually began to take a start. After a few chokes and other medical issues, we had finally been cleared to ride by the vet, and it was wonderful. I used a mainly clicker training foundation, and he learned like a champ and was able to introduce new things calmly and correctly throughout time. And once again, our relationship only continued to grow. We were close friends. He was a silly individual that matched my personality perfectly, and I really, really appreciated having him around and learning with him and teaching him things and all of those things. They were just very, very pure months. I would say this was most likely my high point of the year. I was very happy. I was working with horses all the time. It was wonderful. In June, once again, that pattern continued. Our riding became so solid. We were trotting around in small circles, we were working around the arena, we were riding unsupervised, all of the things that are happening when a horse is progressing properly in their training. He was a perfect example of what good turnout, quality food, quality care, and educated behavioral training could do for a horse. Here's a video of one of his first initial trots under saddle, going left, which is just a small few steps, and then that was all. It was just little things like that we focused on together. And at the end of this month, once we were beginning to introduce trotting, bending under saddle, correct things like that, we began taking lessons. And although this was a phenomenal time for us to work on our skills, it was also a time where more issues began to make themselves clear. Galileo sent me to the hospital quite a few times, and it was very hard to predict his behavior as he became more violent, unpredictable, and downright aggressive under saddle. In August, we understood that something had to be up, as this was simply not the horse that we had seen previously. We focused on groundwork and handwork and training him from the ground so nobody had to be injured, as he had thrown off professionals as well. So we still did in-hand and bridled work and things along those lines, but I never got on his back after that last fall that sent me to the ER. On September 7th, he had a bodywork appointment in which a body worker that my barn really respects found out he most likely has nerve damage to his back and showed me a pressure point in which he reacted directly how he does under saddle. Understanding this, we took him to a vet who gave us the consensus that he most likely cannot be ridden ever again, and all of the reactions we were seeing later was because of pain, and it just developed the more and more he was under saddle, which is why it wasn't shown at first. Therefore, Galileo was retired on the 27th of September and has gone off to live in a pasture. This leads us to October. October was undoubtedly one of the lowest points of the year for me. It was a horseless time, and other than that, I personally was struggling with a lot. on my plate of emotions and mental health and my future and colleges and everything. It was just a time where I needed an equine partner to support me and have like a girl's best friend as her horse. I needed that, but he wasn't there. If any of you noticed, which I know you all did, a lack of content in the months of October and on, this is why. It was because my life became a whole lot harder then. And it was really hard to try and see the light at the end of the tunnel. In November of 2020, however, that light slowly began to reappear. I brought Zuko home on November 13th of 2020, and we had troubles even from getting off the trailer. He was almost impossible to touch. We couldn't touch him. We couldn't feed him treats. He wouldn't let us anywhere near him. He was an emotional wreck. Throughout the month of November, we focused on teaching him how to be a normal horse at this new facility. Brushing, giving treats, leading, things like that. Our walks across the farm used to look like him either trotting or cantering or going straight up into the air. It was only with my previous skills and knowledge of crisis de-escalation and behavioral training that got us to the point where in December we were able to start lessons, lunging. He walked and walks across the farm with a slack lead. He got his feet done for the farrier. He eats in his stall. He does all the things that a quote-unquote normal horse can. Other than that, throughout the month of December, our relationship has simply flourished. I have found him as an equine partner I have always wanted, one that communicates with me efficiently and effectively and clearly has so much vibrance for life. The reason there's been a lack of content lately, I've been struggling. I've been struggling to both make content as well as train this horse how to be normal. Don't get me wrong, he's been progressing phenomenally and I couldn't be more proud of him. It's just hard sometimes. Hopefully, as time moves on and he becomes less of something that needs my 24/7 everyday attention and more of a casual project that I can keep like a, once again, regular horse, I'm not sure when videos will return, but they should sometime soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more content, maybe. Follow my Instagram, link in description, @TheUniqueEquine, and give this video a like and comment, because that helps, you know? Alright, well thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you whenever I see you next. Thank you.